Ivan Pavlov was a famous ecologist born in September 26 in 1849 until 1936.
Pavlov learned about the learning. He rather was interested in the relationship between the nervous system and the digestive system. In particular, Pavlov was studying salivation, or, in other words, the mouth-watering dog. He knew the dog will salivate if meat was placed on their tongue, because saliva aids in the eating of digestion of the meat. In other words, meant to the tongue is a stimulant for the production of saliva. But Pavlov also discovered that dogs did not always wait until they have received meat to start salivating. For example, they salivate in response to clicking of food trays. The dog will also salivate when Pavlov's assistant entered to the laboratory. But why? Because the dogs had learned from experience that this event, the licking of the trays, arrived on assistance, meant that the food was coming. The dog had the idea that when the bell rang, food was coming. At first, Pavlov viewed the dog on waiting vacation news because it was getting in the way of his study. But soon as that he decided that problem was worth looking into the dog learned saliva and response licking tray because it was bringing up the meat he could. And he said to show that he can train the dog to salivate and respond to stimuli, he shooted the stop plug, shooted the ringing of a bell. He strapped the dog into harness and rang a bell. Then about a half second after the bell rang, meat parrot was pleased on the dog's tongue. Pavlov repeated this procedure several times, and by the sound of the bell, the dog salivating in response in the bell and the meat. The ringing of the bell and the dog will imagine the food, so that was stimulating. Classical conditioning. Before conditioning, Ivan first nurture stimuli. He rang the bell and the dog had no response. Then he showed the food, and the dog do have a response. During the conditioning, Ivan as well ring the bell and show the food at the same time, and the dog show respond. After the conditioning, Ivan and his assistant only have to show and ring the bell, and the dog will respond.
I've never got whistle, bells, chimes, sirens. Do you have anything that makes guns running when you see it? An electric gun can open.
A comic that we see in the book above that was shown that Ivan didn't have all the public, they didn't believe him, but then he showed to the public all his experiments of stimulating.
Well, spontaneous recovery is an extinguished response is not necessarily gone forever. Organisms sometimes display responses that were extinguished earlier. Generalization and discrimination is the act of responding in the same ways of stimuli that seem to be similar. A demonstration of the generalization, Pavlov first conditioned a dog to salivate when it was shown a circle.
Fluorine and stimulate disintegration. Many fears. How did
Ivan's experiment has shown that everything we do in our daily life is a stimulus. For example, the bell in school when it's 12 o'clock when you get hungry. And you want to go to the bathroom at the same time. You know, we'll be home.
Ivan's experiment was succeed, and now we can see it in all our daily life. If everything we do is stimulated of children, adults, and pets. Thank you for your attention, and thank you, Ivan.